the address of their concern, constituents redress, and that is why we're here at the seat of power.
We are the seat of power.
We are the seat of power. Yeah, we are. Government of the people, for the people, by the people. Before we do the opening prayer, this is not a demonstration. This is a professional gathering to express our wishes as constituents. Our only enemy is violence in the city. We are not enemies of one another. We're not anti anything except anti-crime and violence. And that is why we're here to professionally address that concern. So it's not a rally where we attack each other, demonize each other. We're not enemies. Our enemy is crime and violence. That's why we're here. With that being said, we have a lot of leaders who will be speaking to us. Some will be speaking from the heart. Some will be speaking from experience, negative experience. And some will be speaking professionally because they are elected officials. But all the speakers will express the concern that we mutually have, which is to live in a city where we can not only be safe in our persons, but nobody should walk in our businesses and take what they want and walk out. And if we say don't do it, then they attack us. Nobody has that right. Nobody has that right. Therefore, we're here to say that will stop today. Now, if you don't believe that we can do it, then you don't belong here. But if you do believe change will start today, then you are the right place. And change will start today. So I just want that to be known because we are making a declaration. Unlike a lot of rallies, we came with documents that after today, everybody will know this declaration was made. So with that being said, let me ask our Imam to give us an opening prayer and then before we begin. So Imam Yahya.
I'm going to give him Arabic and English. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's fine.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Which means we seek refuge in God Almighty against the accursed devil. And we begin and commence in the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful. All praise is due to him. He is indeed beneficent and merciful. He is the master of the day of judgment. It is him that we worship and turn to for guidance. We ask him to guide us on the straight path, the path of those upon whom he has bestowed grace and favor, not those who have incurred his wrath, nor those who have gone astray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Imam. If we have pastor, rabbi, or any other clergy that wants to give prayer, let's do it. Opening prayer. The more the merrier. Any Christian prayer? Or you think it's enough? Or Tara, come and give us a Christian opening prayer. And Tara is the founder and the president of African American Women in Cinema.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
God, we give you praise, we give you honor. We thank you for allowing us to see another day. We appreciate your love and your support as we gather here today in what we believe you called us to do. Strengthen everyone here, encourage everyone here, and help us to continue to do what is right in your sight. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tara. All right, now before I call our first speaker, I want this thing to be passed. Everyone must have a copy. Everyone must have a copy. We're here to work. This is not just come and talk and go home. I promise you. I don't know if you know me, but today you will know me. Yes. Yes. So we're not just talking heads. We're taking action. I want you to have copy. Everybody has copy. I know it's very fine. We'll send you the big ones so you can share it because this is very important for every one of you. This has nothing to do with Democrat, Republican, Independent, nothing. We are the constituents. We don't care about party lines. That's all I want to know, and that is what this thing is about. So let everybody has one. When you finish, just let me know.
Maybe someone can read it out loud for all of us.
You know, once they have it.
Oh, okay.
You got it? Oh, you got it all? Oh, no, he did one. One copy. Okay, it's coming. No, we just want to give you the copy. We'll email. Before we leave, you give us your email. We'll send you the thing. You can blow it. You can blow it. Yeah, so before we go, remind me, give us your email. I have the book here. You get the email. This way you can get it. All right. All of you got a copy?
No, not yet. Give me a second.
Okay.
There's 2 days. Oh, yes. Everybody got one?
All right. I think they all got one. All right. Hello. Come here. Now we're here to make a public safety declaration. Am I right?
Yes.
Public safety declaration. Why are we making it? Because we are guaranteed life, liberty, and the ability to pursue our dreams, whatever those dreams may be, regardless of who we are, where we live, what we believe. These are guaranteed, not by the Constitution, but by God. That guarantees us life, liberty, and the ability to be happy, whatever that means. That is what that paper you have here. Today, we're going to declare that in New York City. And how do we do it? If you read those, every year, elected officials call their constituents and their friends and the lobbyists and special interest groups, and guess what they do? They give State of the Union, State of the District, State of whatever. And they talk about what they want to talk about. Today we're saying, let the constituency read you. We don't care what you're going to talk about because we do not want special interest groups and lobbyists to write reports on your behalf. We want the constituent to write the reports. And from today on, whichever district you live, we have to mobilize at least 100 volunteers. We go to the district and see how well you're doing in those areas. That will start today. We're working. I guarantee you one thing. If we get one city council member out, they will listen. And we can do it from today on. We're going to strategize ways, which we can take 1 or 2 or 3. We can do it. Very simple, very easy. Those who are aligned with our public safety declaration are protected. Anyone else, we can get out. We have a lot of people to replace them, a lot of good ones. And that is what that thing, I want you to understand, we're not here just talking, we're here working. Now, that's number one. Number two, some of the members know that we have adopted a new way of community organizing. And do you know what that is? NYC Wolf Pack. Wolf Pack. What do you mean by Wolf Pack? We all come from different backgrounds and angles and constituencies and, you name it. If you are an elected official, you have your role to play. If you're clergy, you have your role to play. If you're educator, if you're a parent, if you're activist, if you're aspiring candidate, you have a role to play. Our job here is to sit down with you, find your strength and help you multiply it. Find your weakness and help you minimize it. That is a wolf pack. Instead of, heading butts and hurt, Democrat, Republican, black and white, we don't care about those things. We are dying. The killers don't care about whether you're Republican or Democrat. They don't care about whether you live in Yesterday, the shooting was in a white neighborhood. They don't care about it. The shooter don't care about it. Therefore, we should not care about it.
Yep.
That is why we're doing this. Two things. That which is the rating. We don't care about what the politician said, you clap. We care about what the constituents said about them. That starts today. Number two, we're going to work as a wolf pack. This way, we amplify our strength and minimize our weaknesses. And that's it. No party line, nothing. We're all from New York. We're all New Yorkers. We want New York said. With that being said, I want, before we call our first speaker, raise your hand if we adopt it. Raise it if you agree to this too. Raise your hand by show of hands. Raise your hand. Okay. So which means the majority agree to these two principles. Before you go, give us your email. We have our fourth meeting after this. We strategize. We don't care what party line, by the way, what color, what race, what agenda, how much money you have. I have a quarter in my pocket. Doesn't matter.
Shebusa, can I add to what he said?
No, one second. No, with that being said, we have an elected official who will open us up with this, with this moment, and nobody governs a district that this message is more relevant than Gene Adams. And you should know what I'm talking about when you know where Gene Adams is the leader of. And that is why we're having Gene Adams as our first speaker, as elected official, first speaker for this declaration. Honorable Gene, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Musa, and thank you to all that are gathered here today. To me, the paperwork that was handed out, the public declaration, is more of a contract between all of us here and more to come and volunteer and join the organization and join the movement. I spoke to Musa about a week ago about his use of the word wolf pack and how the word wolf pack was something that was used to demonize young black men in New York City going back to the Central Park Five. Donald Trump and many others, they called us, they referred to young black men as a wolf pack. And now with Musa, we've redefined what a wolf pack is. And now there's no longer a negative connotation attached to the word. And speaking of code words and identifiers, we often hear when we watch the news, whether it's an elected official like Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida or Donald Trump or other talking heads that we see on television, they use code words or identifiers like middle class. Middle class, when you hear that word, they're talking about white people in America. When you hear the word woke, they're talking about black people. When you hear the word immigration, they're talking about Latinos and Hispanics. These are code words, or also known as identifiers. Well, today, I'd like to use a new code word, a new identifier that will galvanize us all, because we're all pissed off about the rampant gun violence in New York City and how it has riddled the city. And that word is enough. When you hear the word enough, you know who we're talking about. Enough shooting. Enough crime. And we're sick of it. Enough already.
Enough.
That is the code word. That is our identifier. Enough. And with that, I digress. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Come and greet us before you go. Come and greet us. Yeah, come and greet us.
These are New Yorkers.
Yeah, no, come on. I know.
That's all that matters. These are New Yorkers.
Just greet us before you go. Come.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just greet us.
Yeah. Okay. You're right on time. Well, peace and blessings, everybody. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it sounds like we want to stop violence. Hey, how are you? Peace. Stop like we want to stop gun violence, which is something I've been trying to work on for a long time. And what I'm gonna say is what I kind of said this morning at the education hearing, because there were a few years ago we tried to tell folks that just having a police infrastructure inside our schools, similar to like other places, in and of itself is not going to solve the problem. If it would have happened a long time ago. And we said the people who were pushing back on us were lying about what we're actually seeing in our plans. And so yesterday
We saw 3 shootings near schools. I think the day before there was a stabbing near a school. And what we said was that our kids are getting harmed to and from school. They're also harming themselves, so suicides are going up. We know that law enforcement themselves can't solve this. So the question I had on the headline I saw today, which was additional police being sent to the schools, is what else is being sent to those same schools? What other resources are being sent there? Because police, as I see it, can be used as a Band-Aid, but the Band-Aid is drenched with blood from decades of overuse. You can put a Band-Aid in all you want. If you don't actually fix the wound, you're not going to solve the problem. And so I've been very concerned that we've been pushing plans for a long time to have a very holistic approach to gun violence, not where you excuse people's behavior, because you can't do that, but you actually have to get to the root of what the problem is. If we simply try to arrest the children that we arrested, of the parents we arrested 20 years ago, we're going to continue to do the same cycle over and over again. And there's too much black and brown blood without seeing the action that we need. So our plans are still there. We have community groups here that are doing the work that are not getting the funding that we need. We have agencies. They keep talking about defund, but the only organization that's not being defunded is NYPD and Uniform Services. Every other agency, including Department of Mental Health, including Department of Education, is being cut. So don't defund those agencies. Make sure our community groups get the funding they need, and make sure we're addressing this problem in a holistic approach. Because wherever you send the officers today, as soon as you pull them back, those problems are still there. And we have to get to the root of the problem, and I hope we do. So thank y'all for being here. Let's keep the pressure on. And I got to say, lastly, the leaders we have that have the ability to get the money and change the infrastructure come from the places where this violence is occurring. So if we can't get it right now, I don't know when we will. Appreciate everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So the next speaker we have is Coach Ran. Okay, so Coach is having a meeting. So let me bring up. I wanna keep. I wanna bring up one of the partner for the community organizing, anti-crime, anti-violence. Marion Frampton, aka Tiny, from TBS New Direction.
Peace and blessings, everybody. You know, when I stand here today, I stand here with many of my comrades.
Let's have one meeting.
I stand here with many of my comrades. There was the times that we ran the street. We committed to violence. And everybody keeps talking about we have to do this and we have to do that. Well, you know, one thing that we all agree on is that we have to bring back services to our communities. We can't open up a service in one place and expect the kids. When are we going to realize that these kids cannot pack together? The kids from the South can't hang out with the kids from the West, and the kids in the West can't hang out with the kids in the East. Each of these brothers and sisters that you see standing on these streets come from the North, East, South, and West, but their children cannot linger in different places. We having all these different centers open up in the different parts of the Bronx. But that's just for a neighborhood. We have to bring back these services where all our kids can enjoy in their neighborhood. Not all these kids want to be on the street, but we're not helping them. The first thing these kids see when they come out the house is the gangs and the drug dealers. The last things these kids see when they go in their house is the gangs and the drug dealers. When we grew up, the church was the first line of defense. Now the churches don't even open. With no disrespect to nobody, but the churches don't even open. We got all these churches, we got all these different community centers in our neighborhood closed. And the crazy thing about it, they started closing it before the pandemic started. Before COVID even exists, we even knew about it. We can't, there's a thing called a demon child, but we believe that every child is worthwhile helping. But there's some people who just gonna do what they wanna do. I believe that we got about 85% of our kids on these streets who wants to live a different life. But you know what? Where can they go? Where can they go? Just like everybody ain't meant for college, everybody ain't meant to go to just somewhere here or somewhere there. We got to open up our different centers. We got to open up the PALs in our neighborhood for our kids. Our schools after school. We grew up, most of us up here
who created the hate and the crimes, we now stand here before you trying to prevent the hate and the crime. But we need help. Not only just to cure violence, we're trying to need help. We can't just recognize just one set of people who's doing good. We got to recognize it. And there's a lot of street organizations on these streets who's doing good things. We don't receive funding, we fund ourselves. But that doesn't stop us from talking. I got arthritis, I'm too old. But it doesn't stop my mouth from talking from the kids. It doesn't stop these brothers and sisters that stand behind me from talking about. I got my brothers and sisters here from Guns Down Life. They do good work. Sometimes this brother here ran the streets with us, but he's with Guns Down. But he was part of the streets in the 70s. Do you understand what I'm saying? We all need to bond together. It's not whether we get money or you understand, or we work on our own. We got to come together. We talking about unity, we got to show it amongst us first.
Tell it like it is, Tony.
Because if we don't show unity amongst us first, we don't do it all. Now, a lot of us gonna leave here and go back to where we going at and say, let them do what they do and we do what we do. But it don't work like that because my brothers and sisters, we wear our vests and our jackets. We proud to represent who we are. Black Spades, Peacemakers, the Bangladesh. We proud to be who we are. And we're gonna do what we do. And we're partnering with brothers like Guns Up, Guns Down to help them and do what they doing. But I say to you, the bottom line is that we can stand here and we can talk all day. I've been running with Musa for the last 5 years and I believe in Musa. And I believe what he's doing is the right thing. But it just don't start here. We got a brother here, Salah, from the Yemen Association. We got the Bangladesh. We got the African community. The Bronx is a makeup of all communities. And until we can have all those communities standing right here, it's a waste of time. Peace.
Thank you, Tiny. Thank you, Tiny. Now, the next speaker is the world famous basketball coach, Coach Ron.
Hello, my name is Coach Ron DeClario. I have been the boys varsity basketball coach at Cardozo High School in Queens for 42 years, 48 if you add the 6 years as assistant coach. I like to think I've helped a lot of lives and saved a lot of lives, just like my dad, but in a different way. My dad, the late Dr. Emil DeClario, was a renowned heart and lung surgeon who saved countless lives from the 1950s to the early 80s. He saved Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life when he was stabbed in Harlem in 1958. I am here today echoing the cartoon character Popeye and his "that's all I can stand, I can't stand no more" line. In the last few years, I've had 2 players and 1 player's father shot and killed. Amir Griffin, 14 years old when killed, he would have been a senior now garnering scholarship offers. My 15-year-old sophomore, Yal Pabi, who I'm going to see play in another 2 hours, goes home every day from school praying that his dad is at the door at his arrival. It's not happening. The new normal for New York City residents is unexpected death at any time and in any area. How have so many in our society become so unhinged? Too many ticking time bombs among us. Kids should be safe on our streets, safe to and from school, safe at school, safe at home. Adults likewise want to feel safe and be safe. Too many dreams are dying hard. When we are young, we are told the 4-letter words we should never say or use. Life is a 4-letter word so many of us take for granted. It seems to me that pieces of crap are earning more rights, privileges, chances, more excuses made on their behalf. Good people's rights are being handed over to the bad ones. Being an SCL, a street corner loser, is not a career move. Dropouts that refuse to drop back in becomes LL, lifetime loser. I have 2 words for them, and they are not happy birthday. I am speaking with hidden tears, so much in my heart, and a true loving concern. I love New York City. I never thought of leaving. But what has happened? How have we gotten to this point? I know there are tsunami of problems. Real solutions must be implemented immediately. Too many youngsters are getting recruited by the streets and gangs instead of colleges. Teenagers are getting an obituary before a diploma. We must resuscitate the way it should be. This is an unmitigated disaster. The handcuffs are being taken off the slime and put on the good and the decent. How can this be? 2 plus 2 isn't 4 anymore. Inner city kids need love, direction, ways to develop critical life skills that result in less juvenile crime, fewer teen pregnancies, less substance abuse, less child abuse, less domestic violence, and fewer school dropouts. Games, not gangs. Play, not punk. Fun, not fight. It's sad that we now have to stand up for common sense. The overwhelming people are good. There are limited bad. We must move past our differences to rebuild the common future. Last year at Rucker Park, June 24th, I had a tournament that I can't believe I did. To get into the tournament, you had to be a high school that had one of your players shot and killed. That is ridiculous. Wheels, police officer Jason Rivera, Cardozo, Amir Griffin, Julia Richmond, Ty Johnson, and this is where I met James Monroe, mom, Eve Hendrick, Brandon's mom. And I follow her. We became friends. I see her on Facebook every day. It pains me to see the pain that she puts up there. It is terrible. And I know there are more like Eve Hendrick. I'm here today because I'm concerned. I'm here today because I care. And I'm here because I want to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much. And the next speaker is the Director of Constituent Services in the Bronx, David Coulibaly. David?
Thank you. I'm a little bit. I didn't know I was going to speak. Sister Eve is here. So my name is David Coulibaly. I work for the first female African-American Bronxboro president, Vanessa L. Gibson. And that's a leader that I work for. Before becoming Bronxboro president, Vanessa Gibson was the first African-American woman chair of the New York City Council of Public Safety Committee. So this is something Vanessa L. Gibson really cares about. And then she's doing everything she can to ensure that Bronxites and any other person living in New York City are safe. So I'm going to stop here, and we have someone who will be even more eloquent representing the Bronx than me. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for being here.
Thank you. So the next speaker is Imam Yahya Baki, joining us here with a long history with struggle with crime and violence, like all of us. Imam.
I agree with everything that was said today, but one of the things we should never forget is that these children who we are talking about are our future. Whether we like it or not, they are our future. And if we don't take hold of the situation at the present time, things will get out of hand. One of the things that was said by Tiny, which is very good. We are the resources. We have money to put them in jail. We have money to lock them up, but we don't have no money, to develop programs. When I grew up in the high schools, we had commercial education. We were taught how to do carpentry, cooking, plumbing, car repair, and stuff like that. What are these kids being taught? There is no money in the schools for these kids to learn a viable alternative way of life. Number two, there is no after-school programs that these children can go to get help. We had places like the public school system would be open. We would go there. We would get a lunch. We would get people to help us with our homework. We would get counseling. We would get referrals. And we would get some training in it. We had to learn martial arts. We had to play basketball, handball, and everything else. What are these kids being taught today? They're being taught how to use guns. Technically, guns don't kill people. People kill people. And if they were educated in the sense that they're part and parcel of a whole entire community, And that community, they have to safeguard and protect, not victimize. Then they, in turn, will change their ways. So we have to get out there amongst the people. Don't belittle them. Don't write them off. Because as the brother said, we were all part and parcel of that madness. You know, we all fighting as in gangs and trying to take control of neighborhoods. We didn't own no property. We didn't have no education, no training, but we were trying to take over a little bitty neighborhood, and anybody coming to that neighborhood, you know, we would see them as the victim. And we were being victimized by ourselves by a cruel and unusual system. This system has to be changed. Money should not be extracted from the workers. Money should be extracted from those who are profiting off of the people. The rich should pay their fair share of taxes. That money should go to these youth develop programs, education. All college should be free, and we should be supported in changing the situation rather than it going on and on and on. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, man. Thank you. The next speaker is from Guns Down Life Up. Who's speaking? Guns Down Life Up. My brother. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Hi, so I'm Gilly Delgado from Guns Down Life Up. We work at Lincoln Hospital, busiest trauma center in New York City. We are part of the GAS report, which is gunshot assault stab wounds. We respond to that. Obviously, we're all out here because we care about our communities, and we're trying to find solutions on how we can minimize the violence in our community. But what we need more funding. We need more community centers. We need more leaders like this that are around to be able to stay in the community and walk the streets and meet the young individual where they're at, also in the school system. So we're just here to support Brother Musa, Mama Eve Hendricks, which Brandon was one of my kids in my basketball tournament. And it's just sad that we have to have these meetings every day, day in and day out, you know, screaming and crying, especially here at City Hall, for someone to listen, to say, let's put our money where we're supposed to put our money and not deal with the bureaucracy of what's going on with the statistics. What we need to do is we need to utilize imams. We need to utilize everyone that can go into the community and meet the young individual where they're at and grab them right by the hand and say, hey, I'm here, I care, I'm a mentor to you, I'm here to do whatever you want as long as it's good and we'll guide you in the right direction. Peace and blessings. My name is Gilly Delgado. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. All right, thank you. The next speaker is the founder and chairwoman of the African American Women in Cinema, Sister Tara Renee.
Thank you so much, Sheikh Musa Drama, and to all of you here today. Thank you, elected officials. It is very vital that we continue to put the pressure on, because that's how change happened. Several years ago, before pre-COVID, our organization did a multi-city tour on anti-gun violence. I was amazed to see how the mothers came and expressed their deepest concern and fear because they had male sons who were either black or brown, and they were afraid once they left the house, they didn't know what if they would return. And so I remember when I was in one of the cities, Baltimore, Maryland, where the mother was actually carrying photos, multiple photos of one of her sons who was murdered in cold blood. And it happened years ago, but she was still carrying the photos as if it just happened yesterday. And that was gut-wrenching. So we see what's going on. We have to continue to lend our voice to this issue and be active. I come from a long lineage of activism. One of my ancestors was a civil rights activist in the 1800s. So it's in my DNA. I have to do this. So thank you very much for this time and this opportunity. And I want to say to all of you, let's continue onward and upward, because the next generation is depending on us. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. The next speaker is Anthony Michael or Michael Anthony. Yes, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm here with my fellow freedom fighters over here. We've been protesting the mandates and other government overreach for a long time. And I just wanted to contribute a couple of thoughts. I really appreciate everyone here. We're here to help to fix our communities. But I just want to stress that we're not here to ask for anything from the government. We shouldn't be begging the government for anything, and that we want to get all of these violent people off of our streets. But when we say that we want the government to take the guns off the street, they have guns. All right, we're asking people with guns to end gun violence. They don't want us to protect ourselves. In New York City, if someone breaks into your house, you are expected legally to run away, not to defend yourself, not to defend your family, your home. You're supposed to just run away. It's illegal for you to defend yourself in your own home in New York City. This is why we need Second Amendment rights. It sounds like a right-wing nut job kind of thing. No, it's our birthright. The Constitution, it defends the rights that we were born with. And that includes our right to defend ourselves and our families. And the government doesn't want us to have that power. They want us to come to them and beg them for every little thing we get. So, not to mention the taxes. We all want everyone to pay their fair share. They take our resources, our money, with guns. They use guns to take our money that we cannot, then we beg for resources that we could have had because we earned it, and they took it from us. We have to remember that. It's up to us. It's we the people, truly we the people, not. It's very frustrating because there's so many different ways of looking at this, and I respect it all, but we just have to remember that these people work for us, and they've forgotten that, and they've really forgotten it. They have their boot on our neck, and then we still beg them for every little thing that they want to give us back in little bits and pieces from what they stole from us with guns. So, yeah, I just want to put in a word for Second Amendment rights, not to sound like a right-wing nut job, but to say that we, the people, have to take care of each other, and that's it. We don't need anything from these people, but we should hold them accountable. And I respect this action, and I thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. And we're gonna have, do not leave because we're gonna have the most profound moment coming. Number one. Number two, if you have not gone to our Facebook group, National Community Organizers Day. National Community Organizers Day, please join us. It doesn't matter what party line, where you live in New York, just join us. Let's change it. And Anthony said, we don't have to beg for anything. It's our entitlement, and we don't beg for our entitlement. So I agree with you. All right. Our next speaker from?
Well, I'm from the Bronx. My name is Robert Brunson. I'm the spring president of the Black Space. When we came up, it was totally different. We was a gang, but we came up and we protect our neighborhood. Because anytime something happened, drug dealers, anything happened on the street, cops was never around. We protected our own hood. That's how we got our name. We fought against racism and stuff. That's how we got our name. And if they Google it, they see that. They ain't got nowhere like they said. I don't want to piggyback on them, but kids could do things like we did. We could go out in the street, in the parks and stuff by ourselves without our mothers. They didn't even have to watch us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just had to be upstairs before them lights came out.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't need nobody to watch us. It wasn't all that just going on now. And now the government want to give permission for y'all to get legal firearms. Listen to that. Y'all could be able to carry legally, but y'all got it registered.
trying to stop gun violence. You putting it out there to be more gun violence. That's the way I'm looking at it. I don't care if it's legal or not. You putting more guns and putting people to carry more guns in the street. When they got a gun on them, anything go down, what's the first thing they're going to reach for?
Reach for that gun.
If it's right or wrong, they're going to reach for that gun. You know what I'm saying? When they could have talked it out or got rid of it if they didn't have that gun on them. So I don't see this significance of talk about legalizing them to go and get them guns and protect yourself. We can protect ourselves. All we got to do is patrol our own neighborhood like we used to. You know what I'm saying? We had, Mo, like you said, Gramercy's, Cedar Maria, TAL, you know what I'm saying? Claremont Center, Mitchell Gym. We had places to go and play ball and get off the street. You know what I'm saying? They got nowhere to go. Now, when we grew up, it wasn't no locks on the doors. Everybody's door was open, you could walk in.
Right.
Now they got 50 locks on the door, scared to even go out because they don't know if they're going to come back in. And that's a damn shame. You know what I'm saying? We got to find a way, just like my man said, where we can get together. Because like you say, the government ain't going to give us nothing. We got to find a way to come together like we are here now. You know what I'm saying? Well, we all can come to one way that we can find out how we can do something about this. And the best way to do it is just a little of us out here right now. We need more to make our voices heard. As we get more done with unity. All right? Now, that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. The next speaker represents an international peace organization. Where's Mr. Bruce? Come greet us. We're almost done. Do not leave. The final is the most profound.
And that's not me.
Yeah, that's not you. And everybody come behind. Come behind. Everybody come behind. We're not finished yet.
I want to thank Sheikh Musa and everyone who's here today. Actually, this is, it's a great city. The world comes to New York. We have so many problems in New York. It's amazing. And yet, when I think about it, I work with I work with clergy of every faith.
Everybody quiet.
And I know it's very important the faith community comes together. I know also family is extremely important. And when I think about what's happening, I think, what is God thinking? This is God's city. These are God's children. That was God's son, your son, but it's God's children. And whatever level we are, wherever we are, God has to deal with this. And so it's kind of like we have to connect to God, and we have to really, and everybody has a conscience. Everybody has a conscience, believers, not believers, and that conscience takes a position to our truth. Whatever our truth is, that conscience will hold us accountable. And people's truth needs to be raised up. They need to be loved. If you're not feeling love, then you just go lower and lower. Your emotions, someone says something to you, it doesn't just stop there. It goes right to your core being of your existence, because love is the centrality of every human being. Well, if there's no love, then that whatever someone said to you goes right down to your, why am I here? What's my purpose? So I think, as the faith community comes together, as good people come together, as we defend our rights, our rights as citizens, communism, socialism, these are all things that are taking people's rights away, stripping us from our understanding that there's a God, that there's a purpose, that there's meaning, there's value to our life. So we really have to come together as, God's people. That's my thought. And if we do that, and we can raise up the bar, keep raising up the bar, showing models, showing families. Every year you probably haven't heard about it, but there's a Parents' Day. It's a national holiday. Has anyone ever heard of it? No, right? Mother's Day, Father's Day, Parents' Day. Without parents, kids can't grow properly. Without a community, kids can't grow properly. We heard about how the communities might have been 20, 30, 50 years ago, but now there's no community. You want to go to community, go to Africa, right? Because there's community, right? My son is in Zambia now. Why? Because there's family there, there's community there. We need to learn what it's like to reinstitute family and community, and again, taking responsibility for the communities, really being stewards of the community. I remember I used to, in New Jersey, there's an area, and they never called the police. It was all Portuguese, right? And there's no violence. There was no crime there. And the people took care of the community. They never called the police. I mean, that's community. It's not exactly the highest standard, but it's basic. And if we can return back to, coming together like this, people, larger fellowships, marches. We're planning a march for peace, a big interreligious people coming together to deal with Ukraine and all these, world things. But we have local things, but it's all related. It's all interconnected. So thank you. Connecticut. Not Connecticut. Connected. Thank you. That's it. Thank you, Musa.
Thank you so much. So now before our last speaker, we have two youth. We have one female, one male youth, and they came, and actually this is for the youth. So we need to hear from what's in their minds. So we bring the girl first. Say whatever you want to say, then we bring you. Come. Say whatever you want to say after her. Introduce yourself.
I'm Valerie. I call myself a mentor for Guns Down Life Club. I started working with their program in 2022, I believe, and from there to now, it's been about 3 years, I'd say. Yeah. And I've grown a lot. Like, I've changed tremendously, and they've seen it. I've seen it. My family's seen it. And I've dealt with a lot of gun violence and trauma, along with a lot of us that grew up in the Bronx and Harlem and Brooklyn and Queens. I stand by saying that our community is what we need to help bring everybody back together and help create an actual change. Because as the guy that came up here and spoke before me, he spoke about, the love and the just awareness of other people. You get what I'm saying? Like, I go to school and I go to work and I deal with, travel. So having to travel to work and go to school and the parents and the kids and the other responsibilities that come with it all trickles down to the community. So when we come back to the funding, programs in schools and having activities like footballs, we have youth talking about they can't find a team to play for. And it's sad because it makes you want to turn down, your sport. And that can take you far, especially coming from a city like this. I used to play softball, and I stopped playing because I had gotten into trouble with the streets, I would say. Like, I got distracted, and it was because of my community. It was because of the people that was around me. What we've seen, having a vision that we were living in a box. Like, when you come from, living in the projects and always walking into an unwelcoming area, it's upsetting. And that takes a toll on your mental health and your being as well. So I really do feel like we need more funding and we need people to be aware and come together and put, the anger and everything aside, because we're all struggling. It's not one person that can stand here and say that, I'm really doing, you're doing good for yourself, but we're all in the same predicament. Nothing is changing. That's my point. And I really feel like, you gotta realize, we here, like, we're doing it, like, making something happen. It's gonna fall into place, it's time.
Thanks, My name is Justin. I came from Queens, and
like the last speaker said, nothing is changing. We thank everybody that's here today because without your leadership, without your experience, we don't have the proper guidance. And so I call on my peers, Gen Z, millennials, to come out and be the change that we need to see in our communities. I get on the subway, I get on the buses, and you have to keep your guard up. Every day you turn on the news, it's another news story. And so it's like, when is it going to be time for change? When is the change going to come? When are we going to do something about it and not have another name that's a victim? I don't have a lot to say. I just hope that we can bring about change.
Thank you. Okay. Now, you know, the moment that will change your life is coming. But I want Daniel. No, come greet us first. Greet us before we bring our sister Eve.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank everybody definitely for coming out, which is extremely important.
Everybody come behind.
We have
We're almost done.
a multitude of organizations and people here for the same common cause and goal. Thank you to our brother Sheikh Musa Drama here for organizing this. It's very important that we do raise awareness for this cause. It is a very unfortunate thing that many of us, I would say the majority of us here in this space, has grown accustomed to seeing our individuals become the individuals of the demise. That is unfair. I don't think no one in here should consider that our individuals, our youngins, our seniors, our babies become murdered in the hands of another man. We've grown accustomed to it. We actually walk over it now. We see crime scenes, we see the tape, and we say, it's another one. That has to change. That should never be normalized. This society that we live in right now, we're ourselves are in our minds are in our own demise. That is unfair to us. We have to figure out a way for this conversation to reach its proper place so that this change needs to happen immediately. Anyone in this place right now can walk out of here and immediately become victim for the same cause that we fight for right now. We have to really take ourselves, and we also have to hold ourselves accountable for what we're not doing. It's a lot that we're not doing. We also have to recognize that individuals who are facing these hardships, we have the thoughts and minds to come together and talk to them. And you grab that young brother, and you grab that young sister, and you mentor them, and you make them the better person that they could be. That's what we're not doing. It's not enough of that going on, okay? I just want to, again, thank everybody for being here, and let's make sure that we are the most impactful people of today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. This moment, as I said, we are not talking heads. I want you to know that from today on, we are moving into action. And these people say we don't have to beg government, and we should not beg government. And we should not pay people's salary and at the same time become their servant. They're our servant. That's right. And the role is blurred because we acquiesce to our ignorance. Yes. Today we're removing that. So we're saying we're the master, you're the servant, you do as we tell you. Right. Not what the lobbyist said. That's right. Not what high-paid consultant said, but what the constituent said. And that is what this is about. Now, we have so many people. Every meeting, for the past 25 years, I've been holding meetings about violence. We have removed so many gang members. Every single meeting, I ask people, raise your hand if you directly or have family member or colleague who's a victim of violence. Every hand raised, every time, 100%, every time. Every time, and that needs to change. And one of the individuals, as Coach said, I am her Facebook friend, Eve. If you see what Eve does on a daily basis, and the history she has with her son, like this, from birth until they murdered him, you cry every single day. You cry. Everybody who's part of a group cry, because you see the impact this young man had. Now, I did something that she didn't know. And I wanted, this is, you see, this never happened. This will make you cry. This is her son. She was, 1 week before, she was the captain of his basketball team. Highly accomplished young man who would have changed not only himself and family, but the city and the state and the nation. This is not a white, this is a black child who had a chance to change. Those who use race, I said this is a black child with all the achievements before he even turned 17. But this is one thing, but if you know the relationship between him and the mom, you cry every day. So I said, let me surprise the mom. And you know what this is? This is the last kiss before he was buried. This is the mom kissing his son, her son. And you know what this number represents? The boy was born in 2002. And I went to the computer and I said, let me see how many people murdered from 2002 until this year. It comes out to 9,529 New Yorkers murdered and gave the last kiss to their loved ones. I said, I'm going to make this presentation. This is very impactful. And I want you to walk away with the loved one's last kiss. How many? Loved one's last kiss.
Stand next to her, Musa.
Loved one's last kiss. So I want you, you know,
Stand next to her, Musa.
yeah, the mayor was supposed to come, but they said, you know, as with everything going, he may not, but you know, he may come at the last. I said I was going to give it to the mayor, but since we don't see the mayor, I'm going to give it to the mom, and then I will make one for the mayor. But this is very impactful. So this is yours. So now the floor is yours. After you finish that, we have, you close us up. So the floor is yours. Whatever you said, you know, we're listening.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Congress is killing our children. The politicians are killing our children. They are, because they are the ones that can make changes. They're the ones that can take away these laws that are not working. Yesterday, someone very close to me and my son, my community, got shot in his stomach. The person that shot that young man was caught before with a weapon, walked in court, and turned right back out. So, of course, politicians are encouraging these young men that it's okay to kill. It's okay to go out there and be dangerous, reckless. Black, kill each other. You're black, it doesn't matter. Kill each other. We have to really come together as people, not black, not Democrat, not Republican, not independent, not poor, not white, not rich, but as people. That's all we have in common, being human beings. Yes, that's the last kiss I got with my son. And it's the deadliest kiss. It's a kiss of death because I still taste it. The worst thing for a mother is to unzip a bag and see her son laying there. The worst thing for a mother is to look at your child laying there helplessly. You know, the politicians, they will come to us and they will say, I am with you. I am with you. But yet our children are still being murdered. Guns are like candy. It has to end. We have to call on the governor. What would you say to her? Our kids are dying. New York City is in danger. We put you here. We expect you to protect us, to give us more resources so that our young people's heart and mind can be fulfilled with achievement. We have to call on our DAs. You have to stop allowing criminals to walk out of jail. to be set free on the street to keep committing the same crime over and over again. We have to call on our borough president. What are you doing? We need help. We have to call on our mayor. We need more police officers in schools in our community. But no, he cannot do it alone. The mayor needs help. And if Congress keeps holding back everything, it doesn't matter if they are 90% Republican. When Congress was Democrats, still nothing got done. Yeah, there you go. Our children are dying. The numbers keep going up. The streets are filled with blood. Our kids are scared to go to school. They're scared to get out of school. Yes, you're going to put more security, more officers at the schools, but what about their lives? It's not going to change anything. It's not going to change the gun. That's what needs to be changed. The laws, the gun laws. That's what needs to change. They have to find a way to stop getting guns in our communities. Because if the communities start, what they call it, clap back, then what? We are going to be in trouble. But we have to protect our community. We can't have our kids just keep getting killed. It's not fair. We ourselves are in danger. Just walking on the street, just walking to the store, we can get killed. Every day, every night, I have to go to bed. Cannot sleep up all night, crying for my son. Knowing that my son was just there suffering, dying, and still can't get nowhere in court. Because nothing is easy for Black people. Nothing is easy. It has never been easy. And these kids need to know it. All these people that make sacrifices, Malcolm X, not to mention Dr. Martin Luther King, who knew he was going to get killed, but he didn't give up. So these kids are pulling us back in a different way. They're pulling us back in a different way. And what happened to their parents? Things have changed. Our kids between the age of 20 to 14 are the most dangerous set of people. The most dangerous set of people. But it's not fair. Once I said, I live 50 years. If you want to kill someone, come to me. Let the kids live. Let the kids live. They have the right to live. It's their right to live. It's their right to have dreams. Let them live. We need to speak up more and stop hiding behind each other. We need to go to the politicians. Look, it's not your kids, it's my child. I have to live without my child that promised me that, Mom, I'm going to give you a better life. I'm going to give you a better life. But all I can do is just live with his memories. What if I didn't have those memories? What about parents that don't have those memories? It's not fair. We're just here, just allowing Congress to do whatever they want to do. And we need to hold them accountable. We need to stop voting for them. Stop voting. Stop voting. Election is coming up. Election, we need not to vote. Because they're not helping us. They're not helping us. Look at mental unemployment, homelessness. Who is helping us? Nobody. Every day another mother has to mourn over her child. It could be any one of your child. Just put your face in that casket. Put your child's face in that casket. How would you feel? How would you feel? Because I know how it feels. It's not fair. It's not fair. Every day I cry for my son. Every day. Every day I mourn for another person's son. So I can't get to mourn for my child. because it just keep going so fast, so fast. It's crazy. It's too crazy. But yet, we keep voting these people back in. Yeah. We all thought they would have done a better job. We all thought they would have changed things. But no, nothing. Because look at yesterday, how many kids got killed in 2 hours between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m.? How many kids? Under 20. Good or bad, they are kids. They shouldn't have guns. But when they do get a hold of guns, they should be punished. They should be punished. There should be a law that these kids spend time, something. They can't just be let out free for later on for them to commit a crime that didn't have to happen. Didn't have to happen. That boy that shot that young man yesterday, he already got caught. So 2 lives. That didn't have to happen if he wasn't set free when he first got caught.
Yes. Bill reform.
The bail reform.
Give it a bill.
That's what it is. Talking about defunding police officers. You want to defund police officers? Mr. Kennedy said, when somebody breaking in your house, don't call the cops. Call a crackhead. Who do we call? We call the cops. There you go. We don't call. We call the cops. Everyone who started this defundation, who started it? Let's defund police. The same person that have police every time they go out in the community. They're the one. Democrat. I'm a Democrat. But it's time we stop hiding behind a name, because that name is not saving us.
Policy over party.
Mr. Trump said a lot of things, and people thought it was a joke because he said jokingly, and it's happening right now.
Everything.
Not saying it was the best, but I'm just saying, to save our community, to save our children's lives, we have to do better. We have to support each other and stop looking at what party we that person have, where that person live. Because it's like saving life. The only thing that is saving life is togetherness, strength, unity, love, the grace of God. The grace of God, that's what's saving us. And I'm tired of walking and looking behind me. I'm tired of feeling scared to leave my home. I'm tired. I am tired of living without my son that didn't have to get killed. I'm tired. We're all tired. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's quickly, we ask, Gina Williams to just greet us before we end. Just say something from, Jumani Williams, Borough Director, Borough Advocate. Jumani Williams. Yeah.
All right. So
we're done. We're done. Just like 2 minutes. We're done. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah.
So yes,
You make a
I'm
point.
the Bronx Borough Advocate for Jumani Williams, and I have cards if you like, but the email is gwilliams@advocate.nyc.gov, and I've taken in everything that everyone has said, and you have my deepest condolences regarding the loss of your son. That is horrific, and it is a serious fight right now that we have at hand. Children with guns instead of children with books. They need to be thinking about, higher education and, strategies to excel. But there are so many barriers right now at present. Children are having a difficult time going to and from school because of the gang activities and the peer pressure, and because of the mental health issues, because of the homelessness, because of the economy situation. But there's so many, it's like a domino ripple effect. And so, it takes all of us, like a whole entire village, to be able to have one city as, parents to govern our children. So it does take all of us and working, with the officials and with the, NYPD and the community affairs and all the other community-based agencies, have to get involved. I remember when I was growing up, everybody knew everyone, and everyone made sure you go down the street and you could just be goofing around, hopping and skipping, and maybe you're supposed to be at after school, and Miss Sue sees you and says, "You too many lights. I'm gonna tell your mother. I'm gonna tell your father." And we need to get back to that. We have to start, taking care of each other. And once again, you have my deepest condolences. And it's terrible. And I just want to piggyback on what you said. So there's 2 lives born from yesterday. So we have to be mindful. That's it.
Thank you so much. So the last speaker, 1 minute, last speaker, give us your story, Mariam. And before you leave,
Thank you everyone for coming out today. My name is Mariam Suare, a filmmaker, and a community advocate. I am a member also at the African Advisory Council. I am a victim of assault. I was assaulted on February 18, coming from a community advocacy, the Gambian Pride Raising, first time ever. I got assaulted on a public transportation. I got a broken finger and a minor injury. So public safety is our major problem. So we really need help. And my condolence to you, my sister. I know what you're going through. It's hard. So we all need help. Together we can able to build a better community for everyone. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, can I get everybody for one group picture right quick?
I'll take you guys.
Where's Phil? Phil, close us up. We're done now.
Everybody,
just, Phil will close up.
I have one thing to say. My name is Phil Figaro. I heard everybody speak. Charity begins at home. These people commit crimes, and these kids, they live somewhere. And it takes honesty with parents and friends, neighbors, whoever it is, to give them up.
Thank you.
Yeah, they gotta sleep somewhere, okay? I'm a Caribbean man. Charity begins at home. I know it. I have 5 daughters. You rule by example. You lead by example. That's right. When you take in your home in character, teach them to pray, teach them God. You gotta put fear in their hearts. Respect authority, respect your elders. That's how I was raised. If they're bad, put them out. That's my closing statement.
So let's get this one.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Can we get a picture with
Thank you for coming. The Facebook group, because we need to hold our 4th meeting after this. We're going to work. We're not just here. We're going to work. We don't care what party you're in. We're going to end gun violence, and we're going to end violence and hate crimes. And we're going to go to work. So go to Facebook, National Community Organizers Day, and join, and then we communicate. Thank you, and thank you for coming. All right, we take picture, group picture.
Can we get a group picture with everybody right
You all
quick?
got to get down on the bottom so you can see the sign.
Okay.
Does everybody stand behind the sign? Y'all stretch out. No, you come down. Stretch out the sign. Where's the mother at? The mother stand. You stand right next to them. Ace, y'all want to get in there? Yes. Listen, sis. You gun violence too. Get up in there next to Melvina. Okay.
Okay, everybody come.
Wild man, where you at?
I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay, you send it to me.
Yeah.
I want to get in.
Okay, I got you. Whose phone is this?
Undoubtedly, Africa is the best tourism destination on Earth. The continent is blessed with the most conducive atmosphere. To feel and enjoy these blessings, join the most productive one-week tour of the continent organized by Daylight Africa every September 2nd to September 9th to see beyond the fallacies about Africa on the mainstream media. Contact us at daylightafrica@gmail.com. or call 718-822-5555. Daylight Africa. Revolutionizing tourism industries in Africa.